Hello, good evening everybody, welcome along to JACKOCAR Season 2, Round 4 here for the first Vietnam race that I get to commentate on, that we get to watch. And yeah, good luck to all the drivers. I'm just going to put this out there straight away. This is not going to be an easy race. With me in the commentary box, as always, is Jacko. Did you miss me last week?
I did actually. I mean, Austin did a very
Oh,
good job, but it's good to have you back.
oh, thanks.
Did you miss us?
I did, yeah. I was sad that I missed the race actually because it was just didn't have to be a good one. Was it a good one? Did you enjoy it?
Where were we? It was Australia, wasn't it? It was
Yes.
quite good at the end there with not being sure over whether Pete would extend his gap over Jamie or if Jamie would get close enough to Khalifa. It was eventually Khalifa who won, but yeah, it was quite interesting with a very, very, very late safety car. But I don't think it's going to be as good as this week.
Well, this is it. This is the first fully new track we're getting to try for league race. All these guys, I'm sure they've done plenty of running on this track. It's sort of inevitable. You'll have to do some running here to practice, but I don't know how many have done proper races with 20 people on a track as before. This will be very interesting. We've got so many corners that can catch these guys out. We've got the two roundabouts, effectively the roundabouts. We've got the last sector, which is basically Japan Sector 1. If there were walls everywhere, it's going to be the most difficult race I think we're going to see all season. And I can't wait.
I can't wait. A few of the guys have done it. I know all the Team Speed Boys have, and also Red Bull Matt. He's definitely raced here. I've raced here in a 50% race. Let me tell you, it's awful. But as for the majority of them, I don't think they have. So, almost into the unknown this is. I mean, there's people like, drivers like Splinter, who didn't even start practicing at this track until about 3 days ago, Owen.
That seems a bit silly. I can't lie.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works out for them, but well, we'll just see. I'm not going to make any predictions, but you might just get lucky actually saying that because you can practice all you want, but with simulation, damn it, I don't know how much practice these guys have done with that. Because a little tap, there's actually glitches in this game in the final sector, I believe it is, where actually you don't even have to hit the wall and you'll break your front one. If you get close to it, in some scenarios you will break it. So it could just be luck of the draw. We're going to have another Singapore this time, except there's nothing a restart could do to help it. So I hope the drivers are aware of that. There's something I noticed when I was playing it. I did a race just offline, just to see what the track was like, just had a bit of a reference to talk about my experiences. And yeah, you can kill your car without hitting anything. But anyway, we've got our first car coming out onto the track now, and it is Bill. So we'll follow him round and see how he gets on.
Yeah, this is Bill's fourth start in JACKOCAR. In for Dan's car today, so part of Team Speed. The other change is, of course, Rick, who is in for Paul McGuinness at Scuderia Lenta. That's his 14th start when we get to him. And a late change is Matt Rosamond is in for Thomas at the Smooth Operators team, but he comes out at 11 minutes to go.
Gotta say, I'm liking Bill's livery there. I'm getting the Braun '09 vibes from it. He's even got the 22 on there, I think, so it's a
Yep.
good livery that. Good design, liking it. He's currently on one of the longest stretches in Formula 1. The DRS zone comes in extremely late for this one. I mean, you can see the detection point actually starts only about a fifth of the way through, and then the actual DRS itself only halfway through. So, yeah, I'd imagine it'll still be useful, but not as useful as some maybe would have expected when they first saw the track map. And here's that fearsome last sector. That will cause problems, won't it? If anyone even thinks about going side by side, God help us, if we see someone being lapped in there, I can only imagine. Lap 1, what if someone tries going side by side for down lap 1? We could have only shambles, we could have half the grid out of the race. And this final corner, it is so deceptive, and it's so easy to hit that wall on the right hand side. Well, let's see how Bill does it. This is going to be the first lap. Everyone who's in the pits and able to watch the lap will absolutely be watching it, because this will be a very good reference for them. You can see that we're also running effectively on sunset here, I think, which is, I guess, when they would do it in real life. and it makes it very difficult to see the track as well. You might miss a few tricks in here, but we'll see how he gets on.
Speaking of not making predictions, before you joined us this evening, Noah, and I was chatting away to some of the boys racing, and we all had a guess at how many finishes we'll get as a range of between 7 and 12, which might well end up being optimistic at the end of this evening.
First number that came into my head when I hear you say that is 8.
Yeah,
so
very possible.
It's not against the drivers, it's just the fact that simulation damage is so punishing, and this track, everyone's inexperienced here. This is not an easy race in the slightest, and this is a long race as well. These laps are going to feel like they're going to take forever. And most people don't like this place either, so I don't mind it, actually. I think it's quite fun, but if you get it wrong, you're going to know about it, and there's very little you can do about it. So, luckily, Bill's lap has seemingly gone well so far. There's been a few little hitches in there, but mostly he has got this one done. And as long as he gets a lap on the board, as he goes very wide up the corner, as long as he gets a lap on the board, he'll be happy enough, because I imagine there'll be a lot that get it wrong. First lap on the board then, and it's a 35.991 there.
It's the benchmark. Of course, Bill did no more than 10 laps of practice earlier in the day.
Right then, let's find the next person on the lap then.
Your old mate, Ranagamo.
Ah, look at this. What is this? I mean, it's... Is that Brian? I can't tell because of the lighting conditions, but I have a feeling he's put either a horrendous purple or a horrendous brown and a horrendously dull blue, and what on earth is that green? And it's just like... that helmet as well. Actually, it's probably the only good thing about it, frankly. Anyway, not really going to affect his lap time, you wouldn't imagine. Let's see what the lap is going to be. Frenagami around the last corner. Maybe he could have done that a bit better, and he was 1.1 seconds off in the end.
He did message me earlier in the day to make sure the livery, make sure that you would like the livery. I said that you would, so that's why he's using it. And it's nice to hear that you're a fan, Owen.
Yeah. Anyway, Risky's on his lap, and he's coming through the last sector now. Surprise, we're seeing no invalidations yet. 3 drivers in, 3 drivers done. These last 2 corners, they were changed very late on, by the way, and they're eventually going to be, I think, 1 big corner, but they decided not to do that. And Risky's gone fastest of his time. So I'm going to find there. I think the lap time would have been even quicker if they'd done it the way it was originally going to be done, but they thought, nah, we're not going to do that because we're not fun.
This weird feeling that 1 big corner would have been a whole lot better, wouldn't it?
It would have, yeah. I think that would have been much better because the last corner is so irritating. I think if it was the end of a long corner, you could maybe understand it. You could have a long build up to it, but instead, stop, start, little lift. Just not as fun as throwing it right round a big corner. But then again, we have a few big corners on this track, and no one likes them. So I don't know. Herman Sulkin, maybe he can't win. Now Riley got very close to the wall, and it is those types of walls there that can break your wing in inverted commas, even though you're not actually touching anything. I think he's getting away with it. That's just something you've got to look out for. If you see a car that's randomly breaking its wing in the final sector, that'll be why. And if you break your wing there, as Riley crosses the line to go fastest, if you break your wing there, punctures are almost a certainty as well, because there's nowhere for this debris to go, and there's no alternate lines for you to go on. If that debris ends in a bad position, you're screwed.
And we saw it last week actually with Jordan picking up a rear left puncher, and he was a lap down before he'd even completed his own first lap. And that was in Australia, so you imagine that here.
Yeah, wouldn't be very pleasant as OKK crosses the line in P4 and smashes his front wing up the final corner's wall. I do wonder if people might consider exploiting that last wall, because all they have to do is get to the line. They can floor it through the last corner. If they get away with it, they might save themselves a few tenths. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but it is an option.
Viable.
Is viable if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's the crucial
Just
bit.
before we commentate on Chris here, Owen, just before we forget, Risky is tonight's one and only Joker driver that the fans know at home.
Oh, Clyde, he's invalidated his lap time. And do you know what's worse? there is now debris sitting in the middle of the S section, and that's going to be a very difficult thing to avoid. Let's run on board with Jordan, because he's going to probably come across this. This could ruin your qualifying. This could ruin your race. I mean, this one piece of debris, you'll see what I mean when he's coming through. Hopefully it'll have moved, but if it isn't, you'll see it. So he's come through the S section now, Jordan, having a lovely time, sticking it in 6th, not thinking even about 7th yet. And it does look like the debris is gone, so that is very good news, because that was looking a tad worrying. But anyway, at the final corner, Jordan to the line, and he should go P1. He does go P1.
Yeah. Jordan actually very quick in time trial, and one of the races he did last night in TGP, so he's a bit of a dark horse, this. Keep your eyes on him for later on this evening.
Right, here's Yuri then. He's spinning.
He's
Well, I was going to say he's currently last on the leaderboard. He'll hope to get up from there, and he will, but he will probably end up back down at last again by the end of this. That's a nightmare. In fact, thanks to that mistake, we can probably watch another full lap. We've got Newgarden out there at the moment. And, oh, well, he's hit the wall. Okay, I'm jinxing these a bit, aren't I? Mind you, could be worse. Could have been, no, I don't think it really matters, does it? But he
puncher and a
probably
wing change.
Does, well... frankly, you can just stick that in the wall now. What he could do is he could just try and get it to the line and set a lap still, as long as it doesn't invalidate it. Sounds really stupid, this, but I don't know if Yuri is still going flat out, if at all, after the spin, if he's going to abandon the lap or not.
Yuri's still going. He's behind Dexter at the moment.
Yeah, so we'll see what he does, because it does mean that even if it's one position gained, if he can get to the end, and Yuri's not invalidating now. Although he's pitting, so yeah, if I were Newgarden, I would just get this to the end and bag a 19th rather than 20th. That's easier said than done, though, as you will soon see in the final sector. But when he's moving over now, I think he's got someone on a lap behind him, Whiteout. A Newgarden in there, by the way, replacing Thomas.
Thomas stuck in traffic, by the way. I hate to see it.
Stuck in traffic. We can say that about this race probably later on, frankly. We'll see how that one ends up. We'll do a Thomas simulator. But as Whiteout comes through to finish his lap, you can still see, I think, on the map, Newgarden is doing his lap. I'll keep an eye and see if he's going to pit. If he's got any sense, he won't. That's why it goes P1. If I say any sense, I mean, maybe you'll think, yeah, maybe I will pit just to be safe, but you could have got an extra place there, although saying that he was already actually ahead of Yuri, wasn't he, on the leaderboards. So actually,
yes.
He would have been fine anyway. But still...
Extra hairpin on his lap.
Still think I could have been worth it, just to, you know, get to the end of a lap, just in case more have issues, but... who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? Anyway, Dexter, as you say, he's on his lap. Still a lovely livery, this one. Wonder why he didn't make this a night race. I'm going to ask that one. But this would have worked, I think. But
I didn't realise you could make this one a night race.
no, I'm saying I wish they had.
Right.
I love that. Just looking at this whole track design, this would be much better at night. This feels like a bit of a Singapore style vibe, you know? This could really work.
I agree with you.
Get on it, people, as Dexter went P5 there, by the way. Pete's now on his lap. Nice livery still. Fan of the livery.
Oh, finally back to form last week with that podium in Australia.
He hasn't changed device, has he?
He has gone back to pad.
That's just cheating,
now
isn't
common
it?
knowledge.
Just cheating, isn't
But
it?
he has kept the assists off. Purple sector 1.
It's not like assists are that easy or that hard this year to turn off. So I don't annoy him, but I will annoy him. I mean, theoretically, if he doesn't win this race, then what was the point? But we'll see. As he comes through, should be back to his form, but he's absolutely messed it up on the ARS. He's going to have nothing to come out in this last corner. Might save him from hitting the wall, but will it get into P1 still? Yes, it will. But I have a feeling with more and more of the big runners coming out now, as this is how the qualifying does tend to work, that time, while good now, might not stay good for long. And Baza, I mean, watching him through the S section, that car is like it's going to spin every time he turns in. It's like he's done the first bit of it wrong, and unfortunately, he's now invalidated it. That carries through. You make a mistake in the first bit of it, and then it carries through your wide for the next, wide.
John's got no front wing, Owen.
Oh dear. Oh well, he's keeping on going, obviously. He's 11th at the moment, so I guess he could just retire anyway. He's not going to lose out to any of the guys behind. He would still be at the very least 16th. But again, might as well get to the end. That lap time could just help him.
Mr. John's best qualifying position ever is a P15, so if enough people retire, just by getting to the end of this lap, he'll do himself some favours as he...
Oh, how's he getting away with that? Right. Well, what's he going to do then? He's crawling round. Mind you, you'd argue this is his race pace, mind you. But, he'll argue that.
Oh, no need.
Well, I reckon we'll see quite a lot of people in that position in the race. So, oh, MK Bourne's hit the wall now. I was just cutting through there. He's hit the wall. I don't think Cameron Babber has in his run, though. In fact, he's purple in the middle sector. So while it's not going well for MK Bourne, Cameron Babber certainly looks to be on the pace as he comes through the S section to finish his lap. Just 3.25 minutes to go. We've still got 5 people to finish their laps after Cameron Babber, although MK Bourne is damaged. And yep. Cameron Babber to the line goes P4. So let's see then.
Cameron Babber, by the way, he said when he found out the qualifying positions, he pulled top 6 prime time. So when it all gets exciting, those final few drivers, he couldn't believe he was up there. There's a solid lap, he's backing it up.
So you can see the damage on MK Bourne's front right end plate there. I mean, he'll keep going, because he sort of has to, doesn't he? There's no point giving this one up. He's still got most of the front wing, but it'll cost him in this section here, the final sector. And you can see it there, it's awful. Look at it, it's just... He's lost about a sec. You can imagine, he's lost about a second through. That's why you really don't want this to happen in the race, because, ooh, you're in trouble. But MK Bourne will get to the end of the lap. Won't be a good lap, unfortunately, for him. It is P10. Mind you, with only 4 more people to set a lap time, could have gone worse. Could have gone worse. A lot have had issues. Mr. John, still sitting P12. He'd be crossing his fingers that more people have issues, I reckon.
Absolutely. Here's Jamie Wright, by the way. He's running a special scheme this week, Owen, in honour of Cassidy Diaz, who is the wife of Jessica Diaz, who has sadly contracted COVID-19, so we wish her all the best in her recovery. Of course, Jessica, known throughout the league racing community as one of the few female drivers that exist.
Oh, that's
so this is in honour of her as he damages his wing.
Was that a good tribute then, hitting the wall, or?
I don't think it's what she would have wanted.
No. Well, he's got time to make up for it in the race, and he's still ended up 4th. Maybe that was a tactic that I was suggesting could be a tactic. Just floor it through the final corner, hit the wall. Who cares about the damage? You only have a straight to go afterwards. But now it's the big 3. This is the big guns now. We are expecting big things from these 3. Pete still P1 by half a second. But will Kyle be able to put himself up there? Yes, P1. He will, P1. Now it's getting interesting. Now we've got Splinter on his lap and then Arnaud as well on an out lap. And these are the last 2 out there. This is where pole gets decided, and this is where these guys in the championship lead, in the championship fight, got to get their laps right. Because this is one of the oh, look at the way he's cutting the corners. I imagine most of them are doing this, but it's so risky to do this. But if you get it right, the rewards are fantastic. If you get it wrong, you could be in for such a bad day. And round here, you really don't want to be anywhere near the back. I've got a feeling that's probably not where anyone wants to be. But we'll see how he gets on, Splinter. It looks fine so far. He is coming up on a yellow flag off J-League, but I imagine he'll get out of the way. So it won't be a problem. But let's see.
Splinter,
will we see purple pop up?
Yeah, he's just one of 2 drivers that have finished top 10.
Yes, we do.
All 3 races this season. The other one's Arnold. Jamie's on a good lap here.
Yeah, purple middle sector on our screens. I think Jaylick will get into the pits before Splinter gets there, so it's going to be nothing to worry about in terms of dirty air or slow cars. It's all about Splinter and these last 2 corners. How is he going to get on? Will he be able to put this car up at the front? Here he goes. It's not going to be pulled. I don't think it should be top 3, and it is top 3 for Splinter. But now, Arnold on his lap. Looked like a sort of similar middle sector. It's all about this last sector. Can he nail this? Can he put this car onto pole position? Will he be able to displace Kyle? Let's find out. Just 2 corners to go now for Arnold. Hits the apex relatively well for the penultimate corner. Final corner, will he go full send? To bite as send as he wants. He is using the wall tactic, but it will not be enough for P1. It's P3 for Arnold, but it is Kyle on pole in Vietnam.
Yep, and of course, interesting stat for you, all 3 races this season have been won from pole. So that's
very interesting. That's surprising, that. I have a feeling this might not stay after today, but we'll find out.
No. And
right.
Just quickly on Arnold, last week he was only the 3rd driver to reach 200 or more points in their JACKOCAR career, after Jamie and Khalifa.
Right, and shall we go through the grid then? I've got 15 seconds. Kyle from Pete, Arnold, Splinter, Whiteout, Jordan, Jaylee, Gogol, Canva, Riley, Risky, Dexter, Bill, OKK, NK Born, Frenagami, Mr. John, Clyde, Newgarden, and then Bazza, followed by Yuri. All qualifying on the sauce, but we'll see what whoever does. You never know. But oh, it looks pretty dull at the end of qualifying. Maybe it'll have a chance of being wet in the race. I doubt it, but you never know. I hope for their sake it isn't a wet one, but I guess for entertainment purposes it'd be ideal. But there you go, it is dry. So yeah, we'll see how this all works out then. I'm really hoping that the performance of this game doesn't fall off a cliff. Anytime you do this track offline and you go into replay, it tanks. So we better not do that again here. But yeah, we'll see what they all do on their tyres. We'll see what they all do in their strategy. It sort of feels like the strategy is almost completely irrelevant for this one. It seems to be that way for most of them. I mean, if Risky can make his Joker work, that's great. But the rest of them, I don't know. I reckon we'll see 4 or 5 stops from all of these guys. I don't know about you, but this could be very interesting indeed.
Absolutely. I'm not thinking Kyle's going to win this. As the stat has gone, I think we're going to get a shock winner. And we're all about that.
I'm going to put my money on... Who am I going to put my money on? I want to...
Dexter.
Do you know what? I'm going to say Baz is going to win this one.
Okay. We take that.
Bit of a, shake up from the back. He'll keep his nose clean at the start, get through all the carnage. He'll be sensible. He'll be thinking about lap 28. And on lap 28, he will cross that line and see the checkered flag first. Hopefully.
Nobody's... Actually, I was about to say nobody's ever gone from 19th to 1st. You may remember Canada last season. Khalifa went from 20th to 1st within the race.
Baz is clearly playing the long game. He's on the hards. We've only got 2 others who aren't on sauce. They are Bill and Frenagami. And like I say, that means the rest are on sauce. So, yeah. Should be interesting. I've got the black box of death. I've got someone inviting me to play F1. I'm already playing F1. You've got me wrong. But, yes, this will be interesting. So, again, the grid. Kyle from Pete, Arnold, Splinter, Whiteout, Jordan, J-Luke, Canvabu, Riley, Risky, Dexter, Bill, who's on mediums, OKK, NK Born, Frenagami on mediums, Mr. John, Clyde, Newgarden, Bazza on the hards, and then Yuri at the back on the softs as well. Such a long lap, like I say. It's one of the longest in the calendar, and I think it is, isn't it? I might be wrong, but it's up there. Like, I know it's not like it's not up there with. Probably, I think it's 3 or 4 above it, but it's still up there. Still a very long, painful lap. If we get safety cars, God help me, I'm gonna have to try and fill the time. I might just have to start telling you funny... I don't have any funny stories.
I was going to say, stories, maybe perhaps not funny.
I'll have to start dissecting my A-level results.
How did they go out of interest? Share with the.
U. We'll ignore the U. The U is like irrelevant. I don't care about the U. I don't really care about the results, frankly. I've already got stuff sorted. But a C is nice and a D is nice. U, it's just funny. I'm like the comedy relief, so I'll take it. I'll take it just for funniness sake. That's not a word. Anyway, that's filled about 3 corners. We'll have plenty more during the 7 safety cars we'll get during this race. 5. Obviously, we can't do 7. But we can probably make up another few.
Khalifa in the chat says there's a 100% chance we'll get one on lap 1.
I've got faith, but I also I can't see how it won't happen. I think even with the way this game works with the starts of races, something's inevitably going to go wrong, whether it's the game's fault or the driver's fault. But here we go then. They're all lining up on the grid. Yuri will be the last one in his grid slot. And we're going to be ready.
Stage breaks are lap 6 and lap 13, by the way.
Alright, so we'll remember that then, for when these lights go out. For the first ever JACKOCAR Vietnam Grand Prix, we've got Kyle on the left, we've got Pete on the right. And lights are out, we are away in Vietnam, and it looks like a good start from Pete. I know we've got a lot of stuff going on with the timing tower, but just look at the screen, ignore that tower. We've got a lot of carnage towards turn 1 by the looks of it. Safety car ready, and it's Pete in the lead. And Yuri's out of it. So the chaos happens at the back. And we're going to have to wait and see who's where, because Bill is not in the lead. Yeah, unfortunately. He's actually got most of his front wing probably discarded on the track. Look at this, the safety car is so quick it's already passing people, or at least it's trying to. So who's that? I think someone's crashed into the safety car. Someone's hit the safety car, and I don't know who, because we haven't got the right order, but I'm pretty sure a black car just hit the safety car. We'll figure that out. Oh god, don't let this be Baz.
I'll just read you through the damage from lap 1. We're not even finished lap 1.
Baz has crashed into the safety car, Jacko.
Okay. Risky has broken his wing. Matt's broken his wing. So has Bill. Twice. Connor broke it, and Bazza has also broke his left wing.
Right then.
With it being lap 1, Bazza will get away with that.
So, big question then. Can Risky get to the end on a set of hards and make this Joker work? Or will he definitely not?
Probably definitely not, but I think that's the end of the Joker strategy for him.
Once again, the Joker just isn't happening for anyone ever. One day. We got close, wasn't it, in Japan last season, but really, apart from that, it just... No. Was it OKK that day that did it? I ended up on the podium.
Khalifa was a Joker in Japan last season.
Right.
It was Whiteout almost won Australia. And then we did have another one where Khalifa almost won, but didn't quite happen. Perhaps MK won in Austria, that rings a bell. We got ruined by the weather.
We've got half the grid in the pits. Obviously, we can never really tell which cars are teammates with which cars, so we'll just have to hope that these guys don't all get held up, really. So let's we can get a good angle of what's going on in the pits. You can never really hope to get a good view. That's a decent one. There is one hold going on, at the very least, and look at that. Bill's had to wait for half the grid to pass him to change his front wing. Bill's to be right at the back now. And I think everyone is going to be able to catch up to the pack anyway. They're a bit behind now, but ignore the order. It's not changing like that. I do not think Arnold is in the lead still. He's only at the back of Frenegamu. And yeah, it's changed now. So everyone from 11th down has pitted. And only one of those pitters, Risky, who would have thunk it, has gone into the hard. So I guess if he gets 4 more safety cars, he'll be spending plenty of time going slowly and protecting the tires, which you could almost bet on. So maybe that's what he's thinking here, Risky. And well, Joker could still work yet. And I'll try and set it without laughing. But
sorry.
We'll see. Have faith, but don't expect anything. But it will happen one day.
Yeah. Going back to the start, I mean, Pete did well, used the inside line to his advantage there, and put Kyle wide and took the lead. So hopefully, for his sake, he can hold on to that.
I don't really know what went on at turn 1 then. If it was just a lot of people braking early and others not expecting it, or whether it was just people colliding beforehand, because I don't think Yuri even got close to turn 1.
I don't think so.
So that was a real mess by the looks of it on the map, and again, you couldn't really tell on the timing tower. You saw what it was doing. I really couldn't do much about that. But well, all it is at one side of the race. That timing tower shouldn't mess about that again for the rest of the race. I know Cody's are meant to fix things, but it's Cody's. Come on, guys. We've been asking them for. This game's been like a month now, and nothing's been fixed on the online. They're fixing all the simple things to make it look like they're doing something, but the start of that race is pretty much everything wrong with the online, sadly, for us on this game. But anyway, safety car should be coming in on this lap. I don't see any reason why it won't. The fans in the stands, who are all being killed, will have a good restart to watch.
Yes, and I'm just looking through tasks here. All it tells me is that Yuri retired. I don't have any more detail than that. So, not sure how or why he's out of the race.
Maybe we can ask him, to be fair. Probably get a line on him in the JACKOCAR chat.
Let's see what we can do.
Yes, well, while we try and get that done, I need to think of more filler, because we might be in here for quite a while. Main thing to point out is that, obviously, half the grids have now made their first of 2 mandatory stops. Half the grid haven't. Mr. John will be hoping that this works out. He's in P8, which I think is going to end up being last position today. So as long as he just stays there, he'll do fine. But yeah, we'll see what they do. But safety car should be coming in at the end of this lap.
A little stat on John. I said to him earlier, if he gets a P10 finish here, he will be equal on points with where he was this time last season. Of course, last season he had that incredible P3 in Singapore.
Yes, well, with the way this track is, I said to you earlier, it's got that Singapore vibe. And if it's anything like a JACKOCAR Singapore evening, then we're going to be in for a lot of shock results. But the safety car is now peeling into the pit lane. This restart should actually be quite simple for Pete, because he's going to have to deal with pretty much no pressure, because he's got that last corner. That's really the first sort of point where he can pull away, and the dirty air through there should really leave him ahead, unless he gets it wrong, potentially. But we'll see. Here he goes. Green flags will be out, and the safety car is in. So the race is go once again, and it is Pete in the lead, still from Kyle. Splinter's under pressure from J-Luke. He's going right round the outside into turn 1. Can he make this work in towards the first of the 2 roundabouts? Big slide from Splinter. He might well lose out to Jordan as well. And there's a few taking different lines through there. It's interesting to see how this one's working, especially for Whiteout, who nearly got the move done, but was just a little bit too hot on the exit. Now here comes Dexter on the back of him, trying to have a go. Overtake being used here. This is one of 3 DRS zones. Everyone being down towards turn 1, and everyone being down towards the hairpin. I think turn 10. I think it is.
Oh, Mr. John on the outside of Dexter.
He should be able to get this one done through the roundabout section if he can get a good exit, but I think he'll back off on that one, just to protect himself for a while. Here comes Kyle on the back of Pete. Already both of them using quite a lot of their allocated ERS. They've got to be careful about that. I don't think it's going to be moved there, but John is absolutely all over the back of Dexter, and you can see why. He's absolutely completely blown his ERS tank. He's been all over, but he's going down the inside anyway, and he hits into the side of Dexter, almost certainly. Lucky to get away with front wing damage, but he hasn't got front wing damage, so he's very lucky indeed. Virtual safety car now. I think we've had a spin only for Risky, and he is back into the race, but with more damage. And so that's definitely the end of the Joker now for him.
I mean, if he completes the race like that, I'll give him £100.
Don't tell him that, because he will do it.
I know.
You know, you haven't even said he has to win. All he has to do is finish. That's like golden. Mr. John and Clyde are pitting. They're taking advantage of the virtual safety car. This is a very long pit lane, it has to be said, and it takes absolutely forever to get through it. So if you can save time, I think we got a few people actually doing their second stops now in there as well. Yeah, there's 3 of them in there for a second, so obviously Risky's one of them. But we've also got OKK and Riley. We are green again, by the way, here in Vietnam. But that's definitely interesting on the strategy. Could that work out for OKK and Riley? We'll have to wait and find out.
So Pete and Kyle have certainly got themselves a gap over Jamie after the restart there. But like you say, they have used their ERS. They've managed to save a bit. About the same as Jamie as well.
Obviously, Kyle will be waiting for DRS, which will be enabled on lap 6 to really start attacking. Because there's no point going for it now and then just being repassed and you've got no ERS left and he's going to have DRS all over you. You've got to save some ERS and go for the move. So you've got something to fight with, and that's why he's not going for anything now. Because he could easily have just whacked it into overtake and flew past, but it was hardly going to help him out that. And so he didn't do it. But yeah, like I say, we'll have DRS in the next lap and that'll sort of show us what's going to happen here. And it'll be the first of the stage breaks as well, lap 6. So, see who comes out of that ahead. I'm sure Kyle and Pete will be aware of that.
Ooh.
So they'll try and take that point. They might as well. Who's got more ERS?
Playoff point, absolutely critical.
Kyle fastest lap. Kyle with more ERS. Kyle certainly looking like he's got the upper hand right now as Camo Babo is into the pit lane. OKK, only one who went onto hards in that second pit stop, or in that second round of pit stops, you know, second VSC or safety car, you know what I mean. He's the only one who went onto hards, and so he's absolutely going for the end. Rest, probably not, but we'll see. I guess it's maybe a bit silly to try and go to the end from here, but I mean, on the off chance that you get no more safety cars, it works out very nicely for you.
Indeed so. And Yori just confirmed that he, well, everybody around him braked too early, and he was a little bit too brave and just went into the back of Dexter, and that's what ended his race.
Kyle wants that extra playoff point. Kyle's going to get it. Here he goes. DRS, ERS. Oh, well, he's backing off there. He's backing off, but he should still get through. Pete is back up the inside, though. That lift could have cost Kyle that playoff point. And he's being forced off the track there. Doesn't want to have a collision. And Pete, probably quite surprised to still be in leader. So, but here comes Kyle again on the inside. This is not a good idea to go side by side for Ian, and that's why Kyle has got to get the move done, and he has done. But look how slow he is on the way in. He's going to have J-Luke already on the scene, and Pete's into the wall. He's broken the front wing, and he's going to sure have to pit with that one. J-Luke's losing so much time behind him. I wonder if Splinter My fans are getting involved. And look, there goes J-Luke on the outside. Pete makes a late decision to pit, and finally does so. But that has helped Kyle out immensely.
Yeah. So it was all where Pete hit the wall there, and had he not done so, you would have had a three-way battle right now, but instead you've got Kyle stretching his lead, Pete's having to make an early stop, and J-Luke's got all that hard work to do again to catch back up. All the while it's bringing Splinter into play.
Indeed, Splinter now into DRS range of J-Luke. J-Luke really got held up there, but he was about to fall out of it, and then, well, J-Luke, he really could have taken more advantage, and you can see really what he's lost. But it does appear that Splinter will be staying in at DRS for a while, because even when he falls out of it, he'll have the DRS that he gained from just before he falls out of it to get back inside. So it's just sort of a waiting game for him, I guess. We've got NK Bourne now harrying the back of Frenegamu. So we'll see how this one goes. And we'll also come back to Splinter as well, just in case there's a move at the end of the back straight. We can wait a while on Frenegamu and NK Bourne, because it is a good run for Splinter here. And he lifts it off nice and early. He doesn't want to be going up the inside and risking his car. And keep board now, ahead long before he can even think about the hairpin. He's already got a few car lengths before he even thinks about touching the brakes. And here comes Baza as well. And were they going side by side? They weren't quite going side by side. Baza was late on the brakes though, and that's the wall. Yeah.
And New Garden slips through.
No damage, but No position
Pete's
gain.
got damage again.
Oh, Pete.
He's pitted, he's got damage on his right front end plate.
He'll have done that at the second roundabout. It's very easy to understeer wide there, and I guess that's what he's done.
Oh! He's hit the wall again. No damage.
He's he's walking on eggshells at the minute. He's probably not too happy about it either.
He's pitting. Wow.
Like I say, even a little bit of front wing damage on here, it's crippling. You can't drive with it. You will hit something hard again. You know, if you're going to hit something with a full front wing, you're going to hit something with no front wing, effectively. It's just, you've got no chance. Yellow flags, that's a car off in the first part of the track. It's the first roundabout and it's Baza. I think it's just a spin, although he is sort of all over the show. Obviously, we know there was some front wing end plates coming off around there for presumably for Pete, but there's no puncture. He's been overtaken now by Clyde, so he's down into P13. He's lost a good 10 seconds through mistakes over the last 2 laps, sadly. Dexter there, not quite close enough to the back of Jordan, but he is certainly there, trying to put himself into the top 4. And yeah, let's just see how Pete's doing then. As he goes to the hard compound tyres, definitely put tyres on that he should be able to get to the end now. We've got yellows for Fren and Gamu.
Drivers out, yep.
And that's just about a hairpin. That's a virtual safety car. And that is perfect for J-Luke and for Splinter, and Kyle would want to kill himself. He's absolutely had the worst luck there. Came out just after he passed the pit lane entry. And I reckon you'll see pretty much everyone in.
Yep.
Well, maybe not everyone. There's a couple staying out, but let's just keep an eye on who's making a second pit stop. Arnold is making his second stop. I don't think he's going to have to stack for anyone either, so this could be a race-winning move. He has got a penalty that he's got to take, and he has got a new front wing to put on as well, but this could still win him this race. We'll wait and see where OKK is and where others are. Bill gets a drive free for speeding. Mr. John gets ahead. Riley, though. Riley's the important one here, because if he can beat Arnold out, then he would still be the best of the 2 stoppers. But I have a feeling you're going to see the car coming out of the pits now. Will it be ahead or will it be behind? There it is, just behind, and now we've got a fight on. This could be for the win, this. Because that pit lane is just so unbelievably long. And these two will be able to pit for their first stops and, you know, for the second stops as well. Under safety car, so that's virtual safety car, and Kyle hasn't been in once, and the top 12 had to make another stop.
How tasty is that? And we've only got 2 safety cars remaining, so this could well be decided on track. I just wonder what Kyle's going to do. Is he going to try and stick it out on these softs and get that final stage win, or that stage 2 win, the extra playoff point, or will he bring it in now? That's exactly what he does.
He's pitting now. Right then, this will give us an early indication of how bad this is going to go for him, because he's not winning this race at the moment. This has slipped from his grasp almost up, certainly already, but it's just because he has to make 2 stops, and he would be behind Arnold, Riley and all them. He would be on the second stop, unless he puts faster tyres on, which case he could catch them, but he's not going to get that playoff point either unless he gets more pitters behind. Of course, he had a 17-second advantage, but I have a feeling it's not enough to keep him in the lead of this race. I think NK Bourne is your new race leader at the moment.
Yep, and I'll tell you what is interesting, Owen. Splinter has got past J-Luke. And I'm not sure where he's done that.
He might have well jumped him just in the pit phase. Possibly some stacking or having to be held up. But Kyle can still see Splinter, and he can still see NK Bourne. So it was close, but not close enough. Now he's got to show us that he's got the pace to pass him again and put himself back in line with their strategy, because as long as he's back in lead again, I guess, well, at least he's in line with them. The ones they'll have to worry about are Arnold and probably Riley, and maybe OKK as well, who probably almost certainly can go to the end with no issues on the tyres. But here comes Splinter. This is for the race lead. These are much newer tyres than NK Bourne. And he's going to go right round the outside. Virtual safety car again. He was ahead going into the corner, I think, Splinter. But
I think he was as well.
Apparently not so. Appears NK4 will keep that lead. I'm sceptical about that one, but it appears that NK4 is lucky there to keep the lead.
Absolutely.
That yellow, I don't know who that was for. We've only got one more safety car slot to take up now after this. I wonder, well, I was going to say, I wonder if we'll get any more pit stops, but it's been gone green straight away. No one's going to pit there. And Riley and Arnold are fighting away. This is for net race lead at the moment, and they're behind NK, or behind Mr. John. Risky's had an accident. He has had an accident on the exit of turn 10, I think.
Yeah, but he's still ahead of his teammate Pete.
Yeah, it won't be for much longer.
That's how bad Pete's day is going.
I think Riley's had an accident as well. Yeah, that front wing smashed to pieces. And Splinter has fallen behind Kyle. And now it's going to be J-Luke trying to go around the outside. And that'll be some move on Splinter. Surely he won't let that one happen. He does let that one happen.
Wow. Good move. But will Splinter come back? No, he won't.
Riley has pitted. Arnold has pitted too. OKK now is the lead 2-stopping driver. As you can see with my graphics, enjoy the graphics. Guess who's the second best 2-stopper, who we would obviously assume would be out of it. It's Pete, of course. And Kyle is back in the lead. That was easy. I guess NK Bourne didn't even really think about fighting that one. Nothing really worth fighting for there because of the speed advantage that Kyle would have on the ERS and the DRS. Oh, that's why.
Trying to take that stage 2 win and the lap 13.
Yeah, so that's working out quite well for him then, J-Luke. Let's just see then here, or not J-Luke, Kyle, sorry. Let's see his gap then to OKK, 28 seconds. So maybe not in a great position actually. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see where it all shakes out with these when they do their second stops. They might not be too far away. Depends what they do on the safety cars again. But yeah, look at that. Kyle 1.5 seconds clear already, and that is NK Bourne graciously letting J-Luke go there.
Teammates.
Yes, but as easy as a move J-Luke would want to get there. And he will now chase after Kyle. If he can. Which is debatable.
Jordan hanging in there in P5, isn't he? Good to see.
He's waiting for the fireworks ahead, isn't he? He's hoping this sparks into a good wee fight and he can also get involved in it. Obviously J-Luke doesn't have any DRS, although NK Bourne at this rate won't either. He's not going to be there at a detection point. He was for a while, but not anymore. Here comes Splinter. Just a really poor exit on the second roundabout. Jordan's now left the session. You've jinxed him. But here comes Splinter. Easily puts himself up into the podium positions. And can cover off NK Bourne as well into the hairpin. There's no damage anything on NK Bourne. Might just be struggling for pace on the slightly older tyres, it appears.
Oh, and something we missed. Apparently Arnold picked up a 5-second penalty when he went into the pits just then. A couple laps ago.
That'll be a second 5-second penalty then, I think, and he's got on his race. Took one before when he pitted for the second time. Now in his third stop, it's going wrong again. Oopsies. Right then, so Kyle still leads the race. It is 2.2 seconds. And if he can just get to the end of this one, he will also get that stage point. He's also got the fastest lap. Sadly, he hasn't led all the laps so far. He could be on for a bit of a grand slam, but he could still certainly be on for maximum points at the minute. Don't know how many times we've seen that happen in JACKOCAR, but he certainly looks like he's pretty good for that.
Khalifa did it last week.
Ah, well, you can forgive me, I wasn't there.
Speaking of fastest laps though, the fastest middle sector is currently held by Baza, all the way down in P16.
He's 18.
P18, sorry.
Yeah, he's stone dead last. All goes wrong in the first sector and the third sector, evidently then, for him. I still think he'll win. Virtual safety car, are you kidding me? Nothing's happened.
There's wing damage.
Good for them. Nothing happened to Cody's.
On J-Luke.
Yeah, there is, but is that worthy of a virtual safety car?
I don't think so.
No one is stopped. No one has had an accident apart from J-Luke, but he's clearly continued on at a reasonable speed. If anything, it could give him a chance to pit, or it'll be just the shortest VSC you've ever seen, a bit like the last one, but worse. And that is us out of safety car slots.
Yeah, the last VSC lasted for 26 seconds, so very, very quick.
Well, I'll tell you what, J-Luke might well get a chance to pit here, and he does. This will be his second pit stop, but depending on how long this VSC stays out, he might actually, this crash could be what wins him the blimmin' race. Because this time he's got on the pitch right now, it's sort of saving him time that he's losing, chasing the front wing. We go green again, Newgarden's got a driving penalty, but honestly I think J-Luke won't have minded that accident too much potentially. And my TV's turned off. Oh god, I can't see what's happening.
I think we're still live though, Owen.
Well, it's a TV, not the PlayStation. It's got issues, so hopefully it's alright. Right, I can see again. Now, will J-Luke beat out OKK? There he is, at the top of your screen. Riley's now retired, and I believe, yeah, easily beats OKK out of the pits. So, now the lead two-stopper is J-Luke. And I have a good amount of DRS twos here on Clyde as well. Newgarden, well, he gets that drive through. Now he's also been overtaken, so it's not going too well. And the gap between Kyle and J-Luke is 22 seconds. We will see if that's enough to put J-Luke into the leader's race. Kyle did get the playoff point though. So, oh, he's in the wall.
Oh, JB spun.
Well, I guess it's almost karma, that. Oh!
OKK's going to hit him. No.
Well avoided.
Just
well
about
avoided there.
Wow.
That's kind of karma though for having the accident earlier and someone gaining from it. You suffer from your mistakes, you don't gain from them.
There's nowhere, nowhere J-Luke could go. Obviously being a street circuit, surrounded by walls.
Sadly though, that does sort of mean we've got no fight for the win anymore. So sad times. No. Wave the checkered flag.
OKK back to being the lead two-stop car.
Yeah, but he was beaten out comfortably by J-Luke, so Kyle would comfortably beat him out as well. Jordan is back. He's in DRS of Whiteout, looking to make up that. Well, he's actually made that position back up, virtue of the accident that J-Luke had. But he'd like to be up in P4 where he would have been if he didn't DC before. So that's his goal now. In his Jordan. Jordan's Jordan.
Yep. I don't know if you've noticed a trend about all the free drivers who have retired, Owen.
Teammates again?
What have all three retired drivers got in common?
Hold on, I've been someone knocking on my door.
So this is an unscheduled break in the JACKOCAR broadcast. I do apologise, viewers. Owen's dealing with a Pizza Hut delivery.
Right, what have they got in common?
Yeah, the three drivers that have retired, what have they got in common?
Well, they're not teammates, are they?
Nope.
No idea.
They're all Dutch.
Oh.
They're also all out of the race, so two things in common.
Yeah, I should have said that. They're all out. I missed a trick there. Anyway, while I was away, I was watching, but I was away. Jordan did get by Whiteout, so he's back where he would have been before. So joy of joys for him. And yes, I got a delivery of sweets, so I've got lots of sugar now for after this. So let me just dispose of the bag. Sorry, that sounds wrong. Don't take that out of context. I don't want to be arrested.
Ever the professional.
Sorry for the not murder. They put sweets in cardboard boxes. Anyway, right, that's that dealt with.
Pete Pitts in P9.
Well, now was his two-stop aspirations. Oh, it's not another front wing, is it?
It is. It's a street
Ah,
circuit and it's Pete, and you know those two don't go together.
they've never, ever gone together, have they, really? Or at least very rarely, unfortunately, for him. But then again, he found his way back onto the points earlier, even though it looked like it wasn't going to happen. So, yeah, probably not the end of the road for him just yet, although he has no more safety car slots to save him. Then that is a serious problem. I don't think he's been in that position before when he's had an accident like that, so yeah, maybe he will actually be doomed to the back for once. Bazet, favourite for the race, Finn, obviously. Still not quite there.
Gets past John.
Yeah, John was
Letting him by.
more than willing to let that play to go. Yellows again, we got Risky off. Well, I can't really see where he is. There he is, he's at the top of the screen, he's in the graphic.
The 50p hairpin, as some drivers call it.
Yeah, well, it's a...
Bad drivers call it.
I think it's a hairpin they'd happily knock down for 50p as well. To be frank.
Awful quarter. Worst on the game.
Best thing is it's replicated in Zandvoort. Not as bad, but it's there.
Yeah. Zandvoort's by far the superior track out of the two.
Well, there's been another accident.
Someone's crashed again.
I think Clyde has binned it in the penultimate corner, and that's really painful for him because he's not going to have... Well, he's not going to be able to pit. He's going to have to go round with a broken car for a whole lap, over a lap.
He may even end up retiring on this lap.
Well, that gives us a good opportunity to watch a race go dreadfully wrong on board, because it does feel like, for probably the first time in my JACKOCAR career as a commentator, the race looks pretty solidly finished now, sadly. So,
You've said that now, haven't you?
well, I'm saying it for a reason, Jack. I'm saying it for a reason. Well, now I've just said that, so... Oh, damn it. I'm jinxing.
How
I
about
jinx.
up the inside of the cloud here? Should be a straightforward move. Cloud locks up.
He's done well not to die yet.
Yeah, he's holding Pete up though.
I'm sure that's the least of Pete's worries. If you could gesticulate, he would be. You can trust me on that. Having heard some of the language that came out of his mouth last week. I'm not telling where he got the inspiration for that from. I love how I was just given the blame for that. I'm sure it must be a different inspiration for his anger last week, rather than just me. I'm the boring inspiration. That's been my nickname, Pete.
We were kind of gutted you weren't here last week. Obviously, you may have seen that Jess held Pete up.
Well, that's sort of what I'm saying. That's what
yeah.
that's what I'm referencing there. I'm thinking, don't put the blame on me. This wasn't my fault.
It's forever your legacy.
I mean, yeah, the Jess part was fine. What the effing F? What the flying F? Maybe not so much. I mean, that'd be a great... That would be a quality commentary line, but it would also be my last commentary line. Oh, do you know what? That'd be a good way to finish this off. Last race of the season. What the... Yeah.
And then leave me having to find another commentator.
I mean, why don't I just do that? On my last commentary, you might as well leave with a bang. F-bomb your way out of your commentary job. In a comedic way.
So there it is, Owen retiring at the end of the season.
Yep, Ginger Andre in to replace him next season. Me? Sorry, I forgot. I was a person for a second there. Yeah. Anyway, that was a tour, by the way, of the Vietnam street circuit. It included a bit we want to knock down for 50p only. And yeah, we can get back to whatever's going on at the front, because it looks like Kyle is driving, frankly, the most dominant race we've seen in JACKOCAR so far. I would imagine... I can't imagine Clifford was as dominant as this last week. This has been a fantastic race for Kyle. This couldn't be going better.
Still with the second pit stop to make though. All the top six do, in fact.
Now, I mean, we can check the gap to OKK. It's 36 seconds, so that top 6 won't be affected too much by OKK. The other people may have to make 2 stalls. Let's just get that on the screen. Obviously, Newgarden had the drive-through, and that sort of ruined his day, didn't it? And that other pit stop will shuffle him down. It'll put Bill into the top 10. Yay. I mean, OKK, he might get 6th. Might not get more than that.
Depends how long Dexter and Whiteout leave it, particularly Dexter. Has he left himself enough time to catch back up to OKK on those used hards saying that?
Pete gets past Camu Babo.
Pete only 11th in the championship still, by the way.
NK Bourne's pitted.
I apologise. After last week, the exception of Khalifa obviously still in the table, Pete finally found himself in a playoff spot for the first time since Austria.
That's mad, that.
I know.
Our champion, isn't he still? Remember? I mean, you'd forget
Yeah.
You would easily forget that. I know he's made a lot of changes this year, and so I guess it was inevitably gonna go downhill, but yeah, it's a shame seeing him low, but he'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
Anyway, OKK did beat Dexter out. Probably will get caught
again, by the way.
Front wing's broken.
Another wing damage. Yep.
Third accident, I think, of the day for him. And Newgarden's made his second stop. He's also changed the front wing. He's also got a penalty to take, as if he hasn't had enough of that already.
And Pete recovers to the top 10.
Yeah, Bill as well in the top 10.
They're all nicely spaced out at the moment, aren't they? No battles. Whiteout versus Jordan is about the closest on track.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do about NK Bourne, and especially Dexter. The issue is Dexter's actually probably too far back, but I wonder if any of these guys in the top 4, when they pit, which I think they'll all do now, there's no reason why they shouldn't, will any of them go for some softs rather than mediums? Let's see. They are red for Kyle. Doesn't get held up. Thought he might, but he didn't. Also reds for Jordan and for Splinter. What about Whiteout then? They are also reds, and that doesn't make NK Bourne too happy in the slightest, I don't think. Unless his tyres can make it to the end without losing their pace, and these soft runners get punctures or something. But I wonder if NK Bourne might just find himself under some pressure for that last podium spot, because it is only 3 seconds the gap. I don't know about the penalties, mind you. I know you've got that on your task, but what are these 3 looking at? NK Bourne, Jordan and Whiteout.
I'll come back to you.
Alrighty, well he gets those numbers
Bourne, nothing. Jordan, nothing. Whiteout, nothing.
That's what you like to see.
Bill,
Yellow flag,
3 seconds. Bill's the only driver with a penalty, actually. And of course Arnold with his stop go.
Oh dear, that's gone wrong. It got risky, and he's gonna be careful here because he's got, I think, 2 punctures, a broken front wing. What in God's name? There's Splinter. See, that's his front left, and his rear right is gone, and his front wing's gone for good measure. What on earth has happened here? The track is shaking. That's how monumental this is. Oh, let's stop shaking.
Dexter. How's he going to get that back to the pits then?
That's only one way to find out. Let's watch him. This is a slightly more casual tour of the Vietnam circuit here in Hanoi.
Oh, is that car coming risky?
It's Arnaud there. I'm sure he's aware of what's happening, but the problem is when he turns in here, he might just find it keeps going straight. He's got to keep it going slow to prevent that, but I'm going to assume he's gone pretty hard into the wall.
Oh, this is dangerous. Yeah.
It is a bit. He's gone these are all lapping him, by the way, so he'll get in even more trouble if this goes wrong. Actually, he must admit it. He's got it wrong. He's hit the wall, and his front wing has hit both of his tires and punctured them both. He's just been unlucky, maybe, but we'll have to cut off him for now because we've got the fight for P3. Might not last too long. This Jordan is flying along right now. There's still a few more. Let's just quickly make sure that Risky doesn't get.
Start on the racing line.
There's drivers coming. Luckily, they avoided him. But here comes Jordan now. This is surely a free punt at P3. His ERS is nearly full. He might well just be taking his time with it. He doesn't have to do it now. He's got more than enough power to do it whenever he really wants to. He's looking very comfortable. He's hit him.
If he finishes,
did he hit him? No, he didn't hit him. Didn't hit him hard.
If he finishes third, that will equal his best ever result, actually. Which, of course, he got a P3 in Brazil last season.
Yeah, so we're trying to prove why girlfriends are bad, weren't we?
Yeah.
Then he goes and does that. The cheeky. But it certainly looks like he has all the pace he wants and needs. But interestingly, he doesn't feel like he can go for second. I guess it's 9 seconds. All he's focusing on P3, and he'll see that that gap is. He'll see the gap to the leader, or to Spencer at the very least, is 9 seconds. So he knows he only has one car to pass. He's not stupid. He won't lose out.
Risky's just made it back to the pits, by the way.
Yes, he was going 7 miles an hour. In fact, let's just have a little look at that. He's not having everything fixed, but he's been lapped twice now. In one lap.
he might be able to try and steal the fastest lap, though. Of course, yeah, I think he's already got a couple fast laps.
Oh, look at this. We got Jordan's gone for it. And he hasn't really made it stick. And here comes Whiteout now, up ahead of Jordan. And he's now in the podium positions. And we look back from NK Bourne, because I haven't used this camera too much today. And you can see those two going side by side. NK Bourne will be loving every second of this, but will any of these two be pressured to go for a move on NK Bourne just to get out of the way of the man that's chasing them?
Yes.
He again doesn't go for it. Time is on your side, but Whiteout is not on your side, Jordan.
NK Bourne and Whiteout are teammates, don't forget.
Yeah, so even extra motivation here for this to get done. And this is very tight now. Through the S section, one little error through here could create a pile-up. But it looks like they've all survived. First sort of properly close stuff we've seen through here. And it's all because Jordan has been patient. Has he been too patient? Has he been too kind?
Damage.
Yeah, that's not gone well. You can see he was going wide. I don't think he's damaged it though, has he?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's at the inside. Sorry, he's at the inside. I thought he was going to the outside. I registered the wrong wall, but that's a shame.
Whiteout has a puncher. He ran over MK Bourne's wing damage.
Well, that's something I was sort of expecting would happen in the last sector in the S's. Maybe not here, but well, okay. He's not going to mind this too much, is he?
Definitely not. As Dexter gets past him.
For goodness sake.
He's got Dexter won't mind it.
Absolutely not. No, this is
great timing as ever.
Cheers.
That's alright.
Look how slow this is though.
Oh.
It's a literal procession right now for there. It's like a wee parade, except there's a car that's in trouble.
Baza has a puncher as well, Owen, down in 16.
Is this a problem with debris then that's causing all this? Because I don't want to plant this, but the race leaders probably might have to deal with some of the debris that's being left in the I think Baz has caused this one by himself. You can see how much damage he's got on his front of his car, but we've got to keep our eye on leaders. And NK Bourne, I think he's broken the other side. He has. He's going to be in the pits here. Absolutely be in the pits. So there's a lot of debris out there at the moment. Just got to keep our eyes on the leaders because, well, you just never know.
Yellow flags again. I think that's for Baza. It is.
Yeah.
Oh, such a bad place.
Oh, painful as this.
Whiteout actually passed him.
Oh, look at
Race
that.
isn't over. Oh no.
I think there's another one. There's another one with some issues. Janix, he's also got a puncture, look. What's going on?
Oh, it's like Silverstone from 2 weeks ago.
We've seen about as many... We've got 5 people in the pits, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if they've all got punctures. Oh, KK's in the pits. What's he in for? I guess it's maybe a free pit stop. He'll go in 7th, end up 7th. But, we've seen about as many punctures as we have expected retirements. We've actually still got 17 running. You wouldn't think with the amount of crashes. More yellow flags out there. Yeah, you can see the puncture now. Look at that. JX 7 mile an hour. We saw this with Risky. And that's probably Bill behind. Bill, has he also got a puncture? Or is he just in for fun? He's just in for fun. He decides to join the party. Right then.
And serve his penalty. God, the tyre pressure's up on TAS. Let's tell you what, Pete Knighton's got to be careful. His mediums are on 42% average all the way around. So they are more prone than ever to picking up damage compared to the rest.
How are the race leaders looking on their tyres?
They're all about the same, mid-20s really, top 4. And obviously MK Bourne with his fresh softs.
Look, we've had a bit of excitement now. We can all calm down. We can just try and get to the end now. I think we need a petition to save Pirelli tyres though. We've lost a good 10 separate sets of tyres due to just being destroyed. Most dramatic of which definitely being Risky, who funny enough is back in the pits again. I wonder if he's gone and blown another set at him. Nah, wasn't happy with that lap. He's going to go for another fastest lap attempt maybe.
What Risky has learned from this is that you don't use your Joker on this track.
This might be the worst Joker performance I've ever seen. Because he's going to end up... will he be 3 laps down? He's currently on the start of lap 24 and Kyle's about to go on the start of lap 27. So if there's another accident, yeah, he'll be 3 laps down on his Joker strategy. KK ahead of R9 into P6. He is having a good race, isn't he? He's possibly one of my contenders for driver of the day. I want to just... NK Bourne's good as well. There's a lot have been good, but OKK tried something different with strategy, and it's really worked out for him. I don't think he was expecting to be up there. He's not really, no offense to him, but he's not really a driver that's expected to get a race as good as this. Obviously, Kyle was fantastic as well. There's been a lot of good drivers in there today.
Kyle, of course. Remember we said he may not win it because he's on pole.
Well,
he might just do it.
I think we should just believe our own statistics at this point.
Yeah. Well, Splinter's kept him honest at 3.5 second gap.
Yeah, he's there to points if anything goes wrong. I don't know how many warnings these front 2 are on, but if Kyle does, makes a little mistake here or there.
Splinter has 1 warning, that's it.
Damn it. Pete, by the way, got past. Oh, he's broke his front wing again. That's...
Let's stay out now. Camababa's going to get him.
I thought he had just passed him, but...
Does Camo have damage?
Yeah, I wonder if they've collided.
No, he does. He has damage.
Maybe. He's heading back through.
Let him go.
Think they've collided,
Well, I think that's just a bit of etiquette there for Pete. Maybe his mistake.
Well, that's instead of letting him through, maybe it's over. Sorry. Silly me.
Wretched race for both of them, although both of them doing enough to...
Well, they're sitting in the points still, aren't they? Yeah. Well, I know they'll get points.
Down to 20th, but they're in the
top
playoff
10,
area.
Top 10. Top 10's where playoffs are born, so... We've lost Bill. Bill has died, and that's in the last sector. If I was Dexter, I'd be praying and hoping that there's no debris there, and there's yellow flags around where... Who is that? That would be probably would be Risky again, wouldn't it? I don't think there's any sort of puncture worries here for Dexter or anyone else going through there. Luckily, we've got Pete going by Camu Babu this time. Maybe we'll keep it. We are now.
Yep.
We are now on the final lap here in Hanoi. I think we really should dedicate this last lap to Kyle. Let him enjoy the moment. Shame, really. We got all the safety cars out of the way early, and 4 out of 5 were just virtual safety cars, so that was just a bit of a cop-out from the game there, personally, I think. But we still got some good action in between. We had
definitely would have had a safety car later on in the race, wouldn't we?
Well, I mean, second Risky's tyres start going bang, that would have been a safety car, and we had 4 or 5 punctures on one lap, that would have also been a safety car. It could have been very differently, but Cody's don't like us, so had to deal with us instead. So then, just one more sector to go. Kyle, who will probably turn around and say, yeah, favourite track, love this track, best track in the world.
Be up there with Bahrain for him.
Yeah.
He won 2 weeks ago.
He's been phenomenal.
Leaves the session. Yeah.
That might well give OKK a position here. But here comes Kyle, round the final corner. He got all the player points, he's taken checkered flag. He even got a pole as well. One of the most dominant performances in JACKOCAR history. And we've also got Spencer finishing P2. Good race from him. Jordan is quite slow there, but I think that's because he's passing a slower car. He should claim
Mr. John
P3.
slowed on the exit. He will get P3 as you say, Owen. Great drive for Jordan. That's my performance of the day for sure.
Here comes Dexter. Another good performance. There's been so many out there. Like I say, it wasn't really the race of attrition, but it was still a race where the best. The cream rose to the top. I think that's what the phrase is. And he's ended up 4th there, Dexter. Now, OKK, I don't think he's quite going to catch NK Bourne. So NK Bourne's ghost car will claim a P5. And then OKK will take a very well-deserved P6 there. Oh no, I guess it was a good save to get P7. He wasn't, well, he's got 21 seconds, he won't lose. Pete might just want to go home after this one and cry. Because it's going just about as well as all the other races are going at the moment.
Look at Newgarden on the back of Camo on the final lap. He's got around him.
Yeah, that'd be the tyres and the lack of front wing damage for you.
Yeah.
As Pete crosses the line in P8, Newgarden will cross the line in P9. And then Camu Babu 10th with Whiteout. Very disappointed 11th, but not really through his own fault there. And crashing across the line, probably picking up another puncture as he does it. Risky.
Whiteout could have been on the podium easily.
Yeah, but at least it wasn't his fault. I'm sure he'd be aware of that, hopefully.
It was his teammate's fault.
Yeah.
Hitting the wall on the outside there.
Selfie time. Selfie time. Love that from Kyle. Three Brits on the podium. And I've got to say, the drivers over there, they're saying they're sweating. I'm sweating. I hate this weather. I'm trying to commentate in this weather.
Fastest lap, by the way, went to J-Lu.
Yep, J-Lu got it on the last lap.
Kyle does not sweep the weekend like Khalifa did last week, but he still picks up 8 playoff points. J-Lu has 1. As we head towards a double header, Owen.
Fascinating. Looking forward to this.
Yeah. Silverstone long, followed by Silverstone short. Weeks 5 and week 6.
Obviously not the only track we'll go to twice, but we'll see the other ones as the season goes on. But yeah, for now, this has been JACKOCAR. I've been Owen Wyatt. With me, as always, has been Jacko. Do vote for Driver of the Day later on, because there's quite a lot of good names up there. That'll be on the Twitter poll on JACKOCAR's Twitter. But anyway, we'll be back next week. So cheers for watching, and safe travels. And of course, stay safe, be sensible, all that good stuff. See you. Yes, don't forget to sanitize.